Hey everyone, you're watching the Esperanza 243. Today we are going to do the book reading for Long Live Menavia, Part 6. I am excited. Sadly, my best friend and I didn't get together. I probably should have called her about today. But anyways, I'm probably not going to talk about much because this recording is kind of going to be short. I'm trying to get this done before my mom comes home. I honestly think I do better acting when my mom is when no one is here, I should say. Still got a lot of reading to do. Anyways, let's get to it. Actually, let's do a little recap before I start reading. Shoe fly. Wait a second. What's the next thing I should be? Here we go. This time I'm drinking Neuro Sun. I seriously cannot tell what flavor that is. There's also Neuro Sleep. Jeez, I'm stumbling here. There's a lot more flavors. There's a lot more Neuro stuff. I'm sure there is. But these were the particular ones that I bought recently. And the Neuro Sleep is an interesting taste. It's like orange juice and orange soda combined. It's an acquired taste, I should say. All of these have an acquired taste, I should say. But of course, I haven't tried I think there's a fifth one that I got. Oh, this one. I haven't tried this one yet until just now. So, let's have one more sip of that. I want to figure this out. Coconut, pineapple, maybe a hint of lime. It's hard to tell with these ingredients because I don't really know what the chemical name is for, certain flavors. So, anyways, I was going to do a recap, wasn't I? Yes. What happened in part 4 was Caprice and her adopted mother were in the same market as before, but Marie, her adopted mother, decides to interrupt a man trying to seduce someone else's wife. PG-13 for that particular part of the recording video. And so he brings out a knife. I can't figure out why I put unique. I guess I wanted to put something like American or Swiss knife. I think because I wanted to have this book, an untimely feel to it, like it could happen at any time in Earth's history. So I was trying to make sure that this knife wouldn't affect that kind of feel. I guess it does, in a way. I guess I'll just take out unique. Anyways, he pulls out a knife, and then someone jumps on the man to get, Marie out of the situation. And that particular person just caused chaos. And after, the whole struggling was over and the lawman interrupted, like Marie did, the man was captured, but Marie died in the process. And so right now we're at the part where Caprice is dealing with the death of her adopted mother. Not to mention, obeying her mother's final wishes, which is to travel to Menavia, find Monsieur Baldwin with the locket and the envelope, and that's where we are right now. I know she's dead. I was there when it happened, she called out to him. I was by her side when she spoke her last words. I am making sure her last wishes are kept. It was silent. Then suppose you need help, he said. May I help in any way? She thought for a while. I have a lot of traveling ahead of me. I shall need a way to get around. No worries, Miss Caprice. I'll get you a ride. I believe, though, that if you want to leave from your house, you shall need to pay before leaving. She sighed. I understand. I shall pay when my ride arrives. She paused. I don't want anyone to drive for me. I shall do that. Oui, mademoiselle, he said. I'll be back soon. The man walked off and went to get her transportation. Caprice walked away from the front door and went back to her new dress. She looked at it for a while and then snapped her fingers in exclamation. Ah, I know what's missing, she exclaimed. She ran off in search of something to make the dress sparkle. After finding it, she placed the dress somewhere to hang. Then she poured the sprinkles all over the dress. It looked pretty now that it sparkled in the light. She sighed in content. Suddenly, she realized she needed something to cover the dress, so it wouldn't get ruined, and to make sure nothing touched it, seeing as that would set sparkles by touch. Ah, I shall figure it out soon, she mumbled. She gasped. She suddenly realized that she had no way of protecting herself on her journey. That was when she remembered the man who thought she needed a dagger to hunt for food. She hurried to get paper and something to write with and left a note. Shall her transportation come sooner than she expected? She went to find a nail and hammer and then nailed the note to the front door. The last thing she did before leaving the market, she went to get her coin purse. In less than 10 minutes, she was where the swords were the last time, but they weren't there, or the man who sold them. She looked around. Someone close by noticed she was confused. Is something the matter? The person asked. She gasped and turned. I apologize. I did not mean to startle you, she said. She sighed. Thank you for apologizing. She sighed in frustration. I thought there was a man here selling swords, but he is gone, and so are the swords. I am sorry, but I don't know where he is. Perhaps you could ask someone at a nearby booth. Caprice nodded. She went to the closest selling booth and asked what happened to the man. He got tired after a long wait. Hardly anyone would buy his things, a man told her in Italian. He backed up and went back to his store. Do you know where I can find his store? The man looked at her curious. What does a lady need a sword for? I have a long journey ahead of me, and I need something to protect myself. He gave her a long look. Then she told her where to find him. You must hurry, though. He sometimes closes shop early. As advised, she hurried as fast as she could. She was there within 15 minutes. The store looked abandoned, though. She checked the door anyway. It was unlocked. She entered and called out, Hello? Is anyone there? It was quiet. Hello? The next second, someone entered from the back area. He sighed heavily. What could I help you with? He said gruffly. Then he saw Caprice. He smiled. Diamine, salva. Whoops. Diamine, salve. He exclaimed. Why, hello. Buonasera, signore. She said. How could I help you? He asked her politely. She sighed. It turns out I may need a dagger. I am traveling pretty far and need to protect myself. Very well then. Just to clear things though, would you want a dagger for defense or hunting food? Caprice hesitated. I am actually not sure how long my travels will take. I suppose both. Although I have no idea how to hunt for food. The man smiled knowingly. Perhaps you will bump into someone who could train you. Is your mother going with you? She lowered her head. It embarrasses me to tell you this. My mother died earlier today. She whispered, almost too low for him to hear. He widened his eyes. Que horrible! He cried. Italian translation, how horrible! I am so sorry for your loss. May I ask, when is the funeral? She gasped. Oh dear, I almost forgot. Oh Mama, how such a fool I am. It was quiet for some time. The man went ahead and chose 2 daggers, one for hunting and another for defense. She soon realized what he was doing, so she pulled out her coin purse. As the man placed the daggers in a case and handed it to her, she gave him 4 expensive coins. He looked at them and widened his eyes. The man thought for a moment and then gave her 2 of the coins back. She gave him a look. He smiled. The daggers are expensive. All of this isn't enough, but I want to do this as a friend. She was startled. You paid enough attention for that duel I arranged. I am sure you shall use that knowledge well. Besides, you shall need more money for your journey. He paused. Do you wear boots? Caprice nodded. One of the blades is longer and diamond-shaped. That one is to be used for defense. Rondo daggers are hard to come by these days. She nodded slowly as he paused to observe her. She looked too depressed to remember anything. He was worried she wouldn't be able to defend herself on her journey. Be careful on your journey. She nodded again as tears filled her eyes. She slowly left his store, putting the coins back in her purse. and realizing she needed to stay in order to bury her mother and arrange a funeral. It took her nearly half an hour to get back home. Her transportation was there, including the man who talked to her earlier about it. He saw her and became concerned. "Mademoiselle, est-ce que ça va?" he asked. French translation: "Miss, are you well?" She was quiet. "Are you well, miss?" Oh wait, he has an Italian voice though. Yeah. "I am fine. How much do I owe you?" "That shall depend. Are you going to rent or buy?" She thought about it and sighed. "I shall buy my ride." He figured the price and then told her. She paid in full. "Would you mind bringing it to the side of the house, where the greenhouse is?" He nodded and did so as she went inside. When the man had done his duty, he knocked on Caprice's door. She answered soon after. She looked confused when she saw him again. "Miss, the ride you have includes a horse. If you don't feed or water it in a few days, he could die. Be sure to feed him twice a day and give him plenty of water." She was quiet. "I should remember to do that," she thought to herself. She nodded and closed the door. She went to her mother's room and fell asleep to the touch of the pillow. A week and a half had passed. The funeral was sad. Many people were there. Caprice recognized some and remembered some, but almost half of the company she didn't know. Marie was a wonderful person to many people in their country. The packing bag she had packed remained that way. She placed it in her room, because people constantly came over to give their condolences. It had been a few days where only a few people came. That was when she realized she needed to leave. It was perfect timing to leave. There was enough time in between each visit, hardly anyone would notice, and she couldn't stand living there any longer. She pulled out her packing bag, a shopping bag, a carrying case, and something wrapped in brown packaging paper. At the last minute, she decided to bring her violin as well as the dress that she finished. She placed the package in the shopping bag. Then she took the bag in the kitchen and started putting dry foods in there, including apples, carrots, and a pouch of water. She tried packing enough that would last half a week. Caprice wasn't sure how long it would take to travel to Menavia, but she knew she would try to make the food last a week. What was fascinating was that she could remember watching her dad making a fire. She was surprised she could remember that. It was a good thing she did, because then she packed some cooking and eating utensils. She sighed when she realized how much she was bringing with her to Menavia. "What am I going to do?" she muttered. She went back to her packing bag and tried to decide what to leave behind. By the time she was done, she took out 5 days' worth of outfits, a little bit of her bathroom toiletries, and a little bit of fabric materials. She sighed. That seems about right. After all that work, she realized she didn't pack a blanket to keep herself warm at night. and to cover her things. She went through every room possible to find a suitable blanket. She couldn't find any, so she chose the lightest but sturdy blanket of the ones on each bed, which happened to be her blanket. Her eyes started to fill with tears. She was remembering each night when she was young, her mother tucking her into bed. She closed her eyes and sighed. She felt a bit better. Then she took her bags and walked to the transportation Signore Tucci brought to her. She stopped when she saw it. And there I will stop. I believe that's it. I will talk to you guys later. Maybe the next time I will see you will be maybe not Friday, because that's when this video will be uploaded. I will probably see you guys probably next Wednesday. So let me turn this off for a second so you guys can see me better. I will probably see you guys next Wednesday. If not, maybe sooner, because I really want to do a lyric video because I haven't done one in ages. So, I will talk to you guys then. This is Zia Esperanza 243, signing out.